Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a massive overhaul from FinCEN, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. It's a 2026 reform that's about to totally reshape how the U.S. fights money laundering and financial crime. And really, it all starts with this one big question. For years, the world of anti-money laundering, or AML, has just been piling on more and more regulations. But you have to ask, has all that extra work actually made our financial system any safer? FinCEN took a hard look and decided, maybe not. To really get why this change is such a big deal, you first have to understand the old system. And to put it bluntly, that system was just drowning in paperwork, absolutely buried in data. It created this huge and honestly pretty inefficient compliance machine. The traditional approach was really all about one thing: ticking boxes. Financial institutions were basically graded on whether they followed a super strict checklist of rules. And what did that lead to? Well, them filing a tidal wave of reports, just trying to cover every single base just in case. Now here's where the real disconnect happens. You had banks and other firms spending billions of dollars on compliance, putting in this monumental effort. But all that frantic activity, it wasn't always stopping the most sophisticated criminals. The really serious threats could just get lost in all that noise. So FinCEN saw this problem and basically said, okay, we need a whole new way of thinking. This isn't just about tweaking a few rules here and there. Nope. This is about completely changing the philosophy behind how the country takes on financial crime. This new framework, it's built on 4 really powerful pillars. It all starts with being risk-based, which means pushing banks to focus on the biggest, scariest threats, not just the easy stuff. Then it aligns all that work with national security priorities, so everyone's pulling in the same direction. The result? A lot less burden from routine reporting and a much bigger push to use smart data and analytics to actually detect threats. Okay, let's really get into this. Seeing the two models side by side is when it all just clicks. This is where you can see the real shift from a reactive check-the-box process to a truly proactive strategy. First up, let's talk philosophy. The old way was pure checklist compliance. Did you file the report? Check. The new model, though, it asks a much smarter question. Are you focusing your energy on your biggest risks? That's a huge shift from just doing things right to doing the right things. And that, of course, changes the main focus completely. It's not a competition to see who can generate the tallest stack of paperwork anymore. The new goal is to zero in on those high-impact threats. We're talking organized crime, terrorist financing, and give law enforcement intelligence they can actually run with. And this right here, this really shows you the engine behind the whole thing. The old system was driven by the fear of getting hit with regulatory fines. The new system, it's driven by intelligence. It's all about using data and smart analysis to decide where to invest your time, your money, and your best people. So here's the crucial point. If you remember one thing from this whole explainer, make it this. It perfectly captures the spirit of the entire reform. We're moving away from a kind of brute force approach to a much more surgical, intelligence-led strategy. But look, a change this big is never easy. You have financial institutions that have spent decades building their compliance departments around that old model. For them, this is a monumental shift. It's not just flipping a switch. They're really up against 3 major hurdles. First, there's just the sheer complexity of moving from a simple checklist to a dynamic, risk-based system. That's enormous. Second, you need a serious technology upgrade to handle all this advanced analytics. And third, and this might just be the hardest part, it demands a deep, fundamental cultural change inside the organization. And that cultural change, it has to start at the very top. For the CEOs, for the senior leadership, AML can't just be some back office compliance task or a cost center anymore. It has to be seen as a core strategic function, something that truly protects the institution and, really, the entire financial system. So, with all these challenges, why is this reform so incredibly important? What are these high-impact threats that this smarter, more focused model is designed to stop? Well, the stakes could not be higher. First on the list, organized crime. By focusing on risk and intelligence, the idea is to make it way harder for major criminal groups to move and hide their money. You're disrupting their entire operation right at the financial source. Next, it directly targets terrorist financing. Instead of getting lost in the sea of paperwork, the new system is designed to be much better at spotting the subtle patterns and hidden networks that are used to fund terrorism all around the world. Then you've got sanctions evasion. This new model makes us better at detecting when rogue nations or individuals try to illegally get around economic sanctions, which, is a critical tool for national security. And finally, it's all about untangling those incredibly complex laundering schemes that criminals use to make their dirty money look clean. These networks are super sophisticated, and this reform is about building a sophisticated defense to match them. So, here's the ultimate takeaway. FinCEN's reform is all about making the entire AML system more effective, period. By shifting the focus from paperwork to priorities, from sheer volume to actual value, the goal is to build a smarter, more agile defense against the most dangerous financial criminals out there. Now, this reform is a huge step in the right direction, for sure. But the fight against financial crime never, ever stops. And that leaves us with a final question to think about. As criminals get more creative and their schemes get even more complex, how will this new, smarter model?
Thank you for watching this lesson. If you found it helpful, please like the video and subscribe for more AML and compliance training. If you would like to earn an anti-money laundering certificate, please visit www.nasiacademy.ca. The first course is free and eligible for certification. I'll see you in the next lesson.